Episode 69. What pleased Han Li most was that, from the villagers' accounts, the local master's temperament didn't seem particularly harsh or malicious. This cultivator probably wasn't the type to kill on sight. There was plenty of room for negotiation here. Han Li planned to first completely purge the hidden dangers within his body, then visit in his best possible condition. That way, if anything seemed off, he'd have a much better chance of getting away. So Han Li left the woods and headed for the nearby village. As soon as he entered the small village where he was staying, Han Li saw a youth of about 15 or 16, dressed in white, standing at the village entrance, animatedly talking and gesturing with a few villagers. Han Li paused for a moment. An outsider appearing here now was unlikely to be an ordinary person. He naturally cast his Heaven's Eye technique to take a look at the other party. With a single glance, Han Li's heart surged with wild joy. The youth in white was indeed enveloped in a faint spiritual glow, its brightness only slightly inferior to his own. The youth was a cultivator. The young man in the distance seemed to sense he was being watched. He turned and looked toward Han Li. The moment he saw him, his face lit up with delight, and he scurried over in a hurry.
Hey, you there, brother? You're here for Tainan Valley too, right? I'm Wan Xiaoshen from the Wan family of Withered Cliff Mountain. Pleased to meet you. Shall we head to the entrance together?
Han Li got a clear look at the young man's face. He had delicate features, fair skin, and the pampered look of a young master from a wealthy family.
Of course. But do you know where the Tainan Valley is?
I only heard from my family that Tainan Valley is on the north side of Tainan Mountain, and its entrance is perpetually locked in mist. As for the exact location, I have no idea. I just asked those villagers, and they didn't know either. But you must know, right, brother?
First time traveling far from home, kid.
You got me, big brother. This is indeed my first time traveling far from home.
Come with me, I'll take you there.
Perfect. Now I can really see what it's all about.
So, what is it you want to see at Tainan Valley?
Han Li led the youth slowly toward the location of the strange slope, a place he had already secretly scouted several times and remembered perfectly.
Oh, there are tons of reasons. I want to see the secret arts and spells from other clans and schools, and I'd love to trade for some things I've been wanting.
Oh? From the sound of it, are there many cultivators gathered at Tainan Valley? Could it be that something major is about to happen?
Han Li began to feel a creeping unease, and so the two of them chatted as they walked. Though to call it a chat was a bit generous, it was more like Han Li asking questions and the boy answering them. From the young man's chatter, Han Li managed to glean quite a bit of information about the world of cultivation.
Cultivators are divided into 3 major stages based on their realm: the lower realm, the middle realm, and the upper realm. The lower realm? That's 5 stages: Qi refining, foundation establishment, core formation, nascent soul, and spirit transformation. The middle realm consists of 3 stages: void refinement, body unity, and great completion. The upper realm has just one final barrier left: the heavenly tribulation. Once you pass this stage, you can ascend to the immortal realm and live as long as heaven and earth. But saying it's easy is one thing. Actually cultivating to that level is a distant, almost unreachable goal. Forget about advancing through the 3 great realms. Even reaching the peak of the initial lower realm, the deity transformation stage, is something no one in the entire Yu Kingdom has ever accomplished. Even those who manage to linger at the nascent soul stage are incredibly rare, just a handful of old monsters blessed with profound fortune. A cultivator's lifespan is intrinsically linked to their realm of cultivation. With each breakthrough, your longevity multiplies. For a mortal from the secular world, living past 100 is already a rare feat of longevity. And for a cultivator who successfully builds their foundation, living over 200 years is perfectly normal. And if someone is lucky enough to form a golden core, living to 400 or 500 years old is a very real possibility. And if a miracle happens, and you get some heaven-defying dog luck and actually manage to form a nascent soul, well, congratulations. You might even get to celebrate your 1000th birthday.
The youth in white clicked his tongue repeatedly as he spoke, filled with admiration for those old monsters who could live for 1,000 or 800 years. That's 10 times the lifespan of an ordinary person. Han Li stood by, utterly dumbfounded.
I had a vague idea that cultivators would live longer than ordinary folks, but I never imagined it could be something this outrageous. A lifespan of over 1,000 years? That's practically living as long as a turtle. If a nascent soul cultivator can live that long, then wouldn't deity transformation cultivators, And those in the middle and even upper realms have even more absurdly long lifespans.
Who knows? Maybe they live longer, maybe they even achieve immortality. Well, rumor has it, any cultivator who truly reaches the deity transformation stage and masters it to perfection must leave our world behind and ascend to a higher plane of existence. What that space or world is, nobody knows, and no one who's gone there has ever come back.
No one has ever returned? So how are the realms above deity transformation classified?
Han Li thought, feeling a bit frustrated. Beyond the cultivator ranks, Han Li also gained a general understanding of the cultivator sects and clans within the Yue kingdom. There were other places the youth might not know about, but when it came to the cultivation sects of the entire Yu kingdom, he could rattle them off without missing a beat.
In the state of Yu, there are 7 major and minor cultivation sects in total. They are the Concealing Moon Sect, Yellow Maple Valley, Spirit Longevity Mountain, Clear Void Sect, Saber Transformation Sect, Heavenly Void Sect, and the Great Sword Sect. Among these sects, the Concealing Moon Sect is the strongest, with Spirit Beast Mountain coming in a close second. The other sects are all about equal in strength. If these cultivation sects are the towering trees supporting the entire Yu Kingdom's cultivation world, then the cultivation families are the various vines entwined around them, needing to rely on these sects to survive in the cultivation world. Well, any cultivation family with a bit of history, their ancestors were all disciples from these sects. It's just the continuation of those disciples' bloodlines. The reason for that, you see, comes down to the one thing all cultivators share: the spirit root.
Spirit root?
Right. Most cultivators don't really understand what a spirit root is, but they all know this. If a person doesn't have one, then the whole idea of cultivation is just a pipe dream, because you simply can't sense spiritual chi, let alone cultivate any magic power. But those born with a spirit root are incredibly rare among ordinary people. You could even say it's 1 in 100,000. But even then, those with a spirit root who actually walk the path of cultivation, they're just a tiny fraction of that number. The vast majority of people just live out their lives in mediocrity. It's incredibly difficult to identify those with spirit roots. They're scattered far too thinly. It's a major headache for the cultivation sects that want to recruit widely. And it's not like just having a spirit root automatically qualifies you for a sect's standards. Spirit roots vary wildly in quality. Some are good, some are poor.
What's the difference?
Generally speaking, spirit roots are categorized into the 5 elemental attributes: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Most people's spirit roots are a mix of these 5 or 4 of them. While these people can still sense the spiritual chi, their cultivation results are pitiful, to say the least. They can only master the basic 5 elements techniques of the chi refining stage, and once they reach the 3rd or 4th layer, they hit a wall and can't progress any further. Generally speaking, they can never cross into the foundation establishment stage. That's why a spirit root with 5 or even 4 attributes is called a pseudo-spirit root in the cultivation world. That's why we distinguish them from true spirit roots, which only have 2 or 3 attributes and allow for extremely fast cultivation. The fewer attributes a spirit root has, the better it is. That's right. The best is a single attribute spirit root. In the cultivation world, we call that a heavenly root. It means they're heaven's chosen favorites. Because anyone with that kind of spirit root, no matter the attribute, cultivates at a rate 2 to 3 times faster than someone with a normal spirit root. And when he reaches the peak of foundation establishment, he doesn't even have to face the bottleneck of entering core formation. He can just start forming his core, just like that. If their cultivation speed was enough to make other cultivators green with envy, then the fact that heavenly spirit root users can form their golden core at the 5th level is enough to make them angry, absolutely livid.
Is it really that difficult for an ordinary person to form a golden core?
Right. If only 1 in 10 chi condensation cultivators can reach foundation establishment with the help of a foundation establishment pill, then out of 100 foundation establishment cultivators, you might not even find one who successfully forms their core and enters the core formation stage.
With such a staggering disparity in success rates, it's no wonder other cultivators would be green with envy over the innate advantage of those with heavenly spiritual roots.
So, whenever a Heaven's Favor cultivator appears, the various sects go absolutely wild trying to snatch them up. After all, this is like getting a core formation stage expert for the sect, free of charge. It would be a huge boost to our sect's strength. However, the odds of a heavenly spirit root appearing, a spirit root so heaven-defying, are practically negligible. It's basically only once every few centuries that a cultivation sect discovers one. But there's another kind, the mutated spirit root. It's not a heavenly root, nor is it one of the 5 elemental spirit roots. These show up a bit more often, maybe one every 20 or 30 years.
What's a mutated spirit root?
A mutated spirit root refers to a spirit root formed when 2 or 3 of the 5 elemental attributes mix together, undergoing mutation and sublimation. For example, the earth and water spirit roots can mutate to produce the thunder spirit root, while the metal and water spirit roots can mutate to produce the ice spirit root. And of course, there are also dark spirit roots, wind spirit roots, and other mutated spirit roots. Cultivators with mutated spirit roots don't have the innate talent to bypass the core formation bottleneck, but their cultivation speed is no slower than those with heavenly spirit roots. And if they can find cultivation techniques that match their unique attributes, these individuals often become formidable masters, typically capable of taking on 3 or 4 ordinary cultivators of equal strength. That's why people with mutated spirit roots are also highly sought after by all the major cultivation sects.
I see.
Back in the day, it wasn't just geniuses with heavenly spirit roots or mutated spirit roots that were hard for the sects to find. Even people with ordinary true spirit roots were difficult for the various sects to locate. After all, the cultivation sects can't just drag out every single child from every household in the mortal world for testing, can they?